Hello, this is Nox and welcome to my automatic ice farm tutorial. It's a very simple little design that I came up with by myself as I was looking for a needed glass for some of the ice for some of the things I wanted to build in my world, and as I don't want to excessively explore due to the Caves and Cliffs update, I decided I would come up with a design that would allow me to do this automatically and not have to use one of those smaller manual ones where you're having to just stand around and wait. This would actually give me a lot more if I made a lot of them in this area. As you can see, I've got quite a large area of coal biome. This is it here at its maximum, so this is 11 pistons in length. That is the maximum you can actually get it, and as you can see, you can actually tile it right next to each other, so you can get quite a few of these in a small area and get a decent amount of ice automatically. So if you just AFK overnight, you can come back and you'll have quite a bit of it. Now the nice thing as well, depending on the size of the area you've got, you can actually make it a little bit smaller by popping a bit of obsidian back here to prevent the piston from pushing and breaking the redstone at this end here as well. Let me just change the weather because I wasn't expecting it to start snow. As much as it's nice in this area, it doesn't really work when I want to try and do a tutorial, so thank you very much, snow. Okay, so for this build, it's very simple and it doesn't cost a lot either, and the amounts I'm going to give you right now are for one slice, so it's this piece here and this bit here, not including the extra part for the other end. So it's a single slice like this one here, but the 11 per piston length. So you'll need 36 solid blocks. I would recommend bringing along some temporary blocks as well, because you'll need some of that. So I say, for argument's sake, make sure you've got around about 2 stacks just to be on the safe side. And you also need 4 glass, 1 sand, 3 observers, 26 redstone dust, 3 repeaters and 13 pistons. And obviously you'll need 1 obsidian per slice if you do want to make it shorter than the maximum push length that it can go to. Okay, so we'll just start the tutorial over on this side. I'm just bridge out a little bit so I've got something to work from. Oops, buttons are going the wrong way round. Let's sort that out. So what you'd start with is your 3 blocks for the front part of the build here, and then you would need to just add in the side parts. Now again, you would put in temporary blocks here and then break those away if you wanted to. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm doing it just so that it looks a little bit neater. This back block here will be broken, and that is where your observer is going to go, because it's going to observe the water source that's just here, and then that will kick in both of the pistons that will move your water around, well, move the ice around afterwards. So once you've got this design here, so you've got 3, one on either end, and then the extra part in the middle there with the observer looking inwards. Now add in blocks underneath as well, like this. So that's 1, 2 just there, and a space underneath where the observer is to pop in your piston. Like so. As you can see, this is firing away in the background here. Okay, now just build a little bit of section out here. So you put 1 block behind the observer, and then make a section of 6 like this. So it's 3, then 3. And there we go. Get the repeater, pop a repeater on 1 tick here, and a repeater here on 4 ticks. Then place redstone dust just there like that. What this will actually do is creating a observer stabilizer, and what it does is when the observer sees something here, it will fire, send something out, but because this is in a longer delay here, it gives the piston here enough time to push up and push the ice out of the way, and for the water to reform so that it doesn't send another pulse out and you're not stuck with this continuous loop of the piston just firing constantly because the observer is seeing that. Now what we also need as well, so you can push the rest of your ice forward, is just pop a piston right on top of your observer there. Now to connect these up, put 2 solid blocks there, and then 2 pieces of glass like that, because you can get the redstone to go right through like that. And you're popping a repeater there on 3 ticks. That just means that it gives this piston enough time to push the ice up before this one then fires and pushes it out. And then just pop your redstone dust over the top as well. Now to connect the bottom part, all you need to do is pop a block underneath the piston and then create a little staircase like this going down. and then around to it. So it looks like that. Obviously you can remove these extra blocks here, they aren't necessary, but again, if you want to leave them in because it's easier, that's entirely up to you. And just pop in your redstone dust. Now if you want to make sure whether or not you've done this correctly, just grab a block, any block will do, pop it in there, and then it'll push it up and out. So you can see that is how the system works. Now you want to now go all the way down to the other end, so you can actually put in this part of the system, which will actually then push your ice down, so you'll have, like we've got here, sheets of ice going down. So you want to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think is the right number. Let me just double check that. Yeah, that's right, 13, because it can't push anymore, so it's at its maximum now. So that's where we need it to be. So this is its maximum, and what you do is just pop a observer watching it there. So when the ice gets pushed along and gets to here, it will then trigger the pistons above, pushing it down and out of the way. What we need to do now is we'll just add in, oops, I think I just got that the wrong way around. Yeah, piston there, sorry, with a block of sand just there. And then we just pop a piece of redstone behind it. So what will happen is, there you go, you see, that happens, and it just sends a single pulse rather than the double pulse that you tend to get from observers. But obviously if you're going to do it with the 11 block, that is how you can actually set it up. But if you're doing it shorter than that, you just pull the piece of redstone around to one side, and that means you can carry on. You can put your obsidian here to prevent it from pushing too far, and this doesn't actually get in the way even when it's leveled up like this. So you've got them one next to each other, so there's always space, so that's not a problem. Now in order to be able to send the signal up to fire off these, quite simply just pop down an observer one block above that sand, so it'll observe when that sand pops up into the air, and then pop your blocks across the top here where you're going to put the pistons. So that would be across there like that, and then simply just add the pistons in. So depending on the size obviously, but this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 is the maximum you'll get, like I said earlier, but you can make it smaller if you need to, if you've got a smaller area that is of a cold biome high enough up for you to be able to do it. And that is it pretty much in a nutshell. That is the actual design. You can, like I said, repeat this over as many times as you want. As you can see from this one here, they're right next to each other, but if you're going to build another one, what you would probably do, instead of having this block here, this would actually be the piston, and the same on this side. As you can see, the piston is there. It's a very simple little design. Obviously completely forgot that almost there, put your glass over the top of these pieces here so that the water underneath won't freeze. And let me just grab some more water because I got rid of that for a moment whilst I was checking something earlier. And then the last thing always to put in will be the water. That way you've made sure that everything works correctly. And just pop in your water, and away you go. And you just need to now literally just build as many as you like and allow it enough time to freeze, like this is doing over here, and pushing it down. Now obviously on the 11 push limit, which is this one here, each section is going to give you about 143 pieces of ice. Obviously completely up to you how many of these you build and how much ice you need, whether you need the standard ice or the packed ice or the blue ice. But if you are trying to not explore excessively, I've just realised I've forgotten to put the redstone dust. We do need that across the top there. There we go. If you're trying not to explore excessively because of the caves and cliffs, but you want ice for various builds or anything to do with any redstone contraptions you're building, then this is a way of actually being able to get it. Being AFK, and then we can come back, say, in the morning and just mine out everything that's there ready for you. Obviously, I can't really give you an exact amount per hour on ice. When I've done a few tests of this, I have found it's anywhere between 12 to 15 blocks of ice an hour approximately for each section. So that's just an approximate on the sort of number of tests I've done. That's roughly what it's worked out as. So it's going to be one of those farms that if you have a number of these all set up, I would recommend making sure that it's all in the correct sim distance for whatever world you happen to be on, and then just AFK, probably overnight or for a good part of the day, and then come back and then just mine out the ice that way. But that is it. It's quite a simple little design, like I said, and it doesn't really cost too much in the way of materials. So if you literally just want to have one of them because you can't afford the materials for anything else, you can just have the one, and that's fine. And just remember, if you are going to make it smaller because you have a smaller section to build it in, place a piece of obsidian behind this piece of sand and pull your redstone over to one side like that, and that will stop it from breaking. Okay. I will leave information down in the description for the Discord server that I mentioned, and a materials list as well. And if you have any questions, queries, or any problems whilst building this farm, please drop me a note via either Twitter or Instagram, and I will see if I can help you. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye bye.